Steve often looked back at the 15 years with Zandy as a kind of golden age. A quiet, radiant time he had foolishly taken for granted. They had built a life woven with the sturdy, simple threads of mutual respect and deep affection for their daughter, Alicia. Zandy was his anchor, his greatest cheerleader, and the architect of their happy home. Then came the glittering distraction. Rod and Michelle moved in, bringing with them a kind of effortless, high-wattage glamour. Rod's success seemed blinding, but it was Michelle, with her enduring, ex-beauty queen radiance, who truly captivated Steve. Suddenly, Zandy, the woman who had shared his every triumph and worry, began to look worn. He'd come home to find her in the same comfortable, faded pajamas she'd worn that morning, her focus entirely on Alicia's school project or balancing the household budget. She's let herself go, he judged bitterly, failing to see that she had simply reinvested her time, trading manicures for meal prep and date nights for dedicated mothering. He started resenting the comfort of their predictability, confusing stability with stagnation. Michelle represented the thrilling, shiny what if. If only I married Michelle, life would be exciting, a constant high. He'd muse, completely abandoning his role as a loving husband and father. He retreated into cold silence, creating emotional distance long before the physical one. The fateful meeting at the bar felt like destiny. Steve's co-workers invited him out, and there was Michelle, alone, looking exquisite and fragile. "I need a drink," she confessed, her eyes meeting his with an intense, vulnerable gaze. They talked for hours. Michelle poured out her marriage woes, speaking of Rod as an absent, controlling financier. "I just feel like an expensive decoration," she lamented. Then she leaned in conspiratorially. "Honestly, Steve, you seem like the perfect husband, so solid. Zandy is so lucky to have you." That was the fuel Steve needed. The flattery melted away his guilt. He dove into his own misery, complaining about Zandy's lack of spark and the tedious routine of his life. He found solace in their shared dissatisfaction, a dark, exciting bond that solidified their weekly, secret meetings. The conversations turned into confessionals, the confessionals into longing looks, and soon, their affair consumed him. It wasn't love. It was infatuation, the pursuit of an illusion of freedom. The day Steve stood in their living room and delivered the fatal, clinical blow, "I want a divorce," Zandy didn't shout. Her face turned the color of ash, and her voice was a breathy whisper. "Steve," she said, clutching the edges of her worn pajama shirt. "Don't do this. We can fix this. We have Alicia." "There's nothing to fix," he said, turning his heart into stone. "I deserve to be happy." He left Zandy and Alicia and plunged into his new life with Michelle, convinced he had chosen excitement and passion over dull routine. For a brief, intoxicating period, he was right. They traveled, they partied, and Michelle's social circle lavished attention on him. But within months, the honeymoon ended. Michelle was still beautiful, but she was also emotionally volatile and utterly self-absorbed. She viewed Steve not as a partner, but as a temporary audience for her drama. Their life was all surface. No shared history, no comfortable silence, no mutual devotion to a home or child. One evening, while Michelle was showering, her phone buzzed with an urgent text. Steve, a tremor of doubt running through him, picked it up. The message was from a contact named Y.O.R and read, "Can't wait for you to dump this one like the rest. Tonight at our usual spot." He scrolled through the recent messages, his blood turning to ice. The texts revealed not just one other relationship, but a pattern. Michelle wasn't unhappy with Rod because he was flawed. She was restless, addicted to the constant validation of new conquests. She hadn't envied Zandy's stable marriage. She had simply been using Steve as the next exciting, high-status escape. Steve felt a crushing wave of humiliation and regret. He had sacrificed his family, his stability, and the woman who truly loved him for a serial illusionist. The grass wasn't greener. Michelle was just watering it with lies. He tried to go back, to beg Zandy for forgiveness. He drove by his old house, watching through the window as Zandy and a happy, thriving Alicia laughed over a board game. The image was simple, warm, and utterly unattainable. When he finally called Zandy, her voice was calm, strong, and decisively final. "Steve, I needed the old you to fight for our marriage. The new you is a stranger. We are okay. Alicia is okay. We don't need you to come back and disrupt the peace we've finally found." He hung up, the silence of his empty, sleek apartment deafening. He had chased the glitter of a fictional life and lost the irreplaceable gold of his own. The grass is not greener on the other side of the fence. It is greener where you water it. Proverbs 14 verse 30 says, "A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot." True happiness and fulfillment in a relationship are found not in chasing the superficial novelty and glamour of others, but in valuing, nurturing, and actively appreciating the deep, quiet, and reliable love you already possess. When you stop investing in your own field, the weeds will grow, and every other field will start to look like paradise. Steve learned that the beauty of a dedicated partner is not always dazzling, but often lies in the enduring, selfless care that allows a shared life to thrive.
Youth on the Rock. Jesus is the rock. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel.